As I was standing up from that place, I just felt the ring of fire. I said, guys, this baby is about to drop. Baby is about to drop, okay? People now started running up and down, started wearing their clothes. They say, no, baby cannot drop. Chief is on the way. Please don't. This, that. Everybody was confused. Now. This, that. I told them I wanted to give birth. I could feel the ring of fire. And I started bearing down. But I was holding it. So that I could do it properly. Still, the membrane wasn't torn. So in the background, everybody was shouting, please don't do it. Don't keep it. As they were moving me to the main bed, Nepa took light. Oh my days, my husband, everybody, yeah. So he put on his phone torchlight and everybody was still shouting, Madam, don't give birth. Madam, don't give birth. Put on the generator. Madam, don't give birth. Put on the gen. And the nurses were wearing their gowns. The doctor was wearing a gown. They were looking for scissors. Meanwhile, I was almost dying because the baby was almost flying out. How am I going to tell this story? How am I going to tell you guys this story? Oh well. Hi guys, you're welcome back to our channel. Today we are gisting. And I know you guys like gist, So let's quickly do our intro, the usual intro, and then we'll come back and we'll start the gist. See you. Alrighty, you're welcome back to our channel. My name is Mariah Unmedicated, as you know. And today, as I said, we're going to be talking about the birth story of my second born son, Ezekiel. Yes, my baby's name is Ezekiel Olututo Chimeremeze Ahunaya. That is his name, okay? And he has other names, but those are the ones that are the official names. And he was born on the 30th of April, 2023. Yeah, just 2 weeks ago. My baby, my miracle baby, my wonder baby. His birth story is one for the books. And I'm sure by the time you're done listening to this, you're just going to be like, anyways, let's get into it. So I'm going to do a bit of a backtrack, just so that, you know, some parts of the story will make sense to you. Myself and my husband conceived Olututo Ezekiel August last year. That was when his gestation, or when he began to form in the womb as directed by God. And before then, I really did not, we really did not plan it. We were looking forward to getting pregnant before the end of last year. I had gotten off contraceptives a few months before that. I usually use Diana Press, as those that have been on this channel probably know, which is a hormonal injectable. And I had gotten off that so that, you know, we could take in. But my body wasn't yet used to, you know, I think I had my first period in July, and then I didn't see it in August. So I wasn't really like, I thought my body was still readjusting. But then I was getting sickly, etc. And then I visited the hospital. So even when I was asked, when was your last, because the doctors will ask you, when last did you see your menstruation? I couldn't really pinpoint it because I'd not been noting it. I wasn't yet in that gear or in that phase of actively getting my body ready to get pregnant. Okay? So let's just put that aside. So due to that, the gestational period, or the time that baby was conceived so that they can get the expected delivery date, was gotten on the computer, on the system, the ultrasound system of the hospital, it's usually kind of accurate, right? Yeah. So the first time we went, the expected delivery date was 27th of April, 2023. But the consecutive times that we went, it was 30th of April. But I somehow did not know 30th of April in my head, because 27th of April is actually our anniversary, the time that my husband and I wedded officially about 4 years ago. Okay, so in my head I was like, so my EDD is on my anniversary, but the actual EDD is on the 30th. Okay, now let's start the story. you guys know the back gist. Let's now start the story proper. So on the 30th of April, which was about 2 Sundays ago, my husband and my son had gone to church as per usual, and they would leave me in the house. I stopped going to church when I was about 36 weeks pregnant. So week 37, 38, 39, week 40, I was at home. And on that particular Sunday, I'd started feeling light cramps. I won't call them serious. Light cramps around 3 p.m. But they were still in church, and I knew they would still be in church. So around 4 p.m., the cramps were also not very consecutive. They were not frequently following each other. They were not at defined intervals. They would just happen like randomly. So, but from about 4 p.m. or so, or from about 3:30, it began to be more frequent, like 10 minutes exactly. So I messaged my husband and I told him that, you know what, I'm having cramps. They are light, but they are following each other like consecutively. Whenever you're done in church, maybe we could go to the hospital, because before then, I told the doctor that I was tired of the pregnancy. Actually, I was tired and I wanted to be induced. And she was going to induce me like the Friday before then, but we changed our minds for some reason. Thanks to God. Anyways, so he came back home around 4:15 or so. And then he said, okay, you know what, let's just monitor this thing. We monitored it, and we had to collect something from someone in church. So we said, you know what, as you're going to collect something from someone in church, we'll just go to the hospital and just do a check, whether it's serious or not, right? Moving on, I would insert clips here of those times that I took videos as we were doing some of those goings and comings. Okay, so one of those videos is supposed to enter now. Okay, hi guys. So
no, I'm waiting for someone. I want to collect something from. She's bringing it down.
I went to church to collect something. So today was church. My husband and my son went to church, but I've been cramping. We got back home late. What time is this? This is about 5 o'clock now. So I've been cramping since around 4. So we're going to the hospital. Hopefully this child comes out today. So we got to we got to church around 5. Collected what we wanted to collect. My mom was even still gisting. I was like, are you serious at all? Let's be going. So we got going, and we got to the hospital around 5:15-ish, 5:15, 5:20. By the time we got to the hospital, we had already called the doctor, and the doctor even told us that we should be on our way. By the time we got to the hospital, it was we were waiting for the head doctor actually to come in. But the other people were there, and they were, they did the usual check me, etc. They were like, are you sure? I don't think you're going to give birth today. Everybody was just like, I don't think you're going to give birth today. I don't think you're going to give birth today. I'm like, okay. Even me, I don't think I'm going to give birth today, but I really hope and I pray that it will be today. So the main doctor came in around 3:36, 3:37. And then she told me to go into there's a delivery room where she was going to just check me, because we had been recording the time of the contractions, and they were 10 minutes apart still. At some point, they began to dwindle. They were not appearing again as we were coming to the hospital, but I was still hopeful and I was still prayerful. So we went to the delivery room, and then she checked, and she was like, the baby's head is actually really, really down, but your cervix is not open at all, no effacement, no dilation, no nothing. Like, she couldn't even do a sweep. When you want to induce, you can sweep through the membrane, and then it would send some hormones that would make the contractions come even faster. But she couldn't find any opening to do a sweep, and she was like, I really do doubt that you're going to give birth today, because you're not effaced, you're not dilated, you're not anything at all, but your baby is quite down. So too unusual. It was like they were contradictory. The baby's head is quite down enough for it to have started making your cervix to open, but then the cervix is short tight, and in fact the direction is quite away that her hand could not even touch it. For those, you guys, I just hope you understand what I'm saying. For those that have given birth, to be easier for you to relate with this video. Moving on. So she said what she would do is that she wants to stay, but she will most likely go back home, because it's like it's tomorrow I'll give birth, because of the way everything was looking. Nothing was open at all. And I'm like, okay, no problem. But she said that she would put me on admission, and what they would do is that they would give me an anesthetic drug or injection, an anesthetic injection, and if I sleep through it, because it would be a strong dose, if I can sleep, then it would mean that I'm having another false labor. But if my body doesn't sleep, if my body is producing enough oxytocin that I can't sleep through, then that means that it's real labor. Labor has come. So I was admitted into one of the rooms, and I was given the anesthetic drug, and my husband went to drop my son with one of our friends so he could return and stay with me in the hospital. Thank you, dear Ola, and your beautiful family for taking in my son for that day. God bless you. Even though we weren't certain that, delivery will happen, we just had some friends on standby to help us do a couple of things. And I thank God for the blessings of friends and blessings of people. So he left me. He went to the house to pack the things. My hospital bag was already with me anyways, but he went to pack some other things for himself, to drop the child, to spray the house with insecticide, just in preparation for the baby. And as he went, I lay down on the bed. Coincidentally, Sunday is the day where, they release one of my favorite, my current favorite series, Dr. Cha. For those that are K-drama fans, that's one to watch out for. Or if you're watching it, you understand what I'm saying. So I watched Dr. Cha. I'd gotten around the time that I went up was around 6:30 or to 7. So it was already quite late and everything. After they had done the anesthetic, whatever, and all the checks, I was put into a room. Hi guys, so this is 8:38 or 8:39 in the night, and we've been at the hospital. So there's a bit of gist, a bit of long story that I have to fill you in, but yeah, contractions have been constant and frequent since last time we spoke, 10 minutes apart right now. And they're coming. They're stronger. They're feeling more intense now. But they're still 10 minutes apart. So I'm just lying down here. They told me not to go back home. I was checked actually. I was checked when I got here by 5:30ish. And my cervix had not yet started dilating, even though I was having contractions. So I was injected with an anesthetic drug just to see if I would fall asleep, so that they can know if it's going to be a false labor. But I haven't fallen asleep and I'm still having contractions. So yes, I'm just in prayer mode. I don't know if I got my EDD wrong, but according to the hospital records, today is actually the expected date of delivery for this child. So I apologize for thinking that I'd gotten it wrong. Or anyways, enough talking. So here I am, just recording this, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. And so I watched my Dr. Cha. That took about an hour, so around 8:08, and I started watching ASMR videos. As I was watching Dr. Cha, I noticed I was falling asleep, but I was falling out of sleep. I was falling asleep, I was falling out of sleep. Then the contractions started getting stronger. By the time my husband got back around 8:40 or so. And I told him, you know what, the contractions have gotten stronger. I even told him to do a video of me. And then we called one of the doctors that was on the night shift at the hospital. So we called her and she came up and, she was very skeptical, to be honest. She was very, very skeptical. She was skeptical because of I wasn't dilating or dilated, or I wasn't effaced. My cervix wasn't showing any sign of giving birth that day, at least at about an hour before that time. But we told her that, Ma, these contractions have gotten stronger. NEPA is just taking our lights. The contractions have gotten stronger, but the way I looked, the way I was on the bed, I didn't look like someone that was in any serious pain. But I told her, please, can we just go downstairs and check? She was like, she will have to take a reading by herself. She doesn't really want to stress us, etc, etc. She took a reading. She stayed for about 15 or 20 more minutes just to ascertain that the intervals between the contractions had gotten more. And then when she confirmed, I can't remember what time it was, around past 9, we went down to the delivery room. When we got to the delivery room, oh yeah, please, can you call Dr. Daria? She was like, she's going to have to do a check herself. She's going to have to check if I'm dilated or effaced or anything like that at all. So they prepped me. They put me on one of not the main delivery bed. They put me in the delivery room. They have 2 beds in the delivery room. The one that is flat, where they can do the checks, and the one that is the delivery bed. But they weren't prepared to have a delivery, so they didn't strap the usual heartbeat reader on my body. They didn't do the room wasn't prepared, even though it was prepared. I don't know how to explain it. It was prepared just in case she's going to start a delivery. They put the preliminary things, nylons, etc. But prepared for labor, no. So at that time, I think the generator was on. NEPA brought lights. So they turned up the generator, mistake number 1. Because they just felt like, no, she's not going to deliver today. So the doctor on call checked me and she noticed that I was 8 cm gone. 8 centimeters, 8 cm, very close to 10 cm, 8 cm gone. But she was doubting it. She now called the head doctor. I'm sure you guys can hear her voice in the background where she's like, I'll insert the video.
So, let's start. How many minutes now?
3 hours.
9.
That is 9:46.
46 and 8 cm. About 8 cm or something.
6 to 8 cm.
Yeah, I'm going fast. Go for it. That's so good.
Oh, hello. Hello, good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, this is Dr. Muka.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so she is now contracting, having 3 contractions in 10 minutes, lasting up to 60 seconds. And then she's about 6 cm dilated, not even 8 cm dilated. However, membrane has not been ruptured. Yeah. Yes, she's in the first stage room. Okay, so Chief is coming.
Where's Chief?
Dr. Daria, sorry. I said 6 because my hands are tired. My fingers are small. So it could be 6 and I'll be feeling 8.
And she was like, no. She checked. It's like she's either 6 cm or 8 cm. She can't be 8 cm. Her own hands are very small. Therefore, this woman can't be 8 cm. She was doubting herself. Anyways, the doctor started to come. At that time, it was already 9:46, 47 when she made that call. 9:46, 47 when she made that call. And then the next thing was everybody started putting things together because, 8 cm gone and the main doctor, the chief doctor will soon be here. As we were putting things together, I just started telling them that I want to use the toilet. At that point, they wanted to put a cannula. I think that's what it's called. the thing that they'll put inside your hand so that IV fluids, etc., just to prepare you now, the starting point of the preparation. I said they should hold on, I want to pee. Now, guys, I had some funny thoughts in my head, and I will confess. From the point where they told me that the delivery wasn't going to be that day, I started to pray because I wanted an April baby. I started to pray to God that God should have mercy on me. I want this child to be an April baby. I want this child to come out in April. And I watched some videos previously on how to make contractions come faster. One of it was drink lots of water. So I was drinking water like crazy from the time that I got to the hospital. Even in the delivery room, I took my water bottle inside and I was drinking water. So much so that my lips were, unlike when I had my first son, where my lips were seriously dry, I wasn't looking as dead or as dehydrated in this particular delivery. So I was just drinking a lot of water. So I felt like peeing. And another thing that was said in one of those videos, I may link the video, was that if you want to dilate faster, make sure you're hydrated, because it is said that a large percentage of women, I think it was ridiculously high, 80% or so of women that were hydrated said that they delivered faster compared to those that weren't hydrated. And make sure that your bladder is empty. So I told them I wanted to pee. Can I go to the toilet? They said, madam, at this point, it's too late for you to go to the toilet. So they brought a movable toilet bowl or something like that for me to sit down on. When I sat down on it, I intentionally pushed myself that, oh God, let this child come out. And I peed all the pee that was inside. As I was standing up from that place, I just felt the ring of fire. I said, guys, this baby is about to drop. Baby's about to drop, okay? People now started running up and down, started wearing their clothes. They say, no, baby cannot drop. Chief is on the way. Please don't. This, that. Everybody was confused. Now. This, that. Meanwhile, I told the girl that my delivery is usually very fast. Even with my first son, I got to 8 centimeters very fast. And I don't know whether I have a high pain threshold. Maybe I do have a high pain threshold. But I don't suffer a lot of pain before I get to the point where I'm 10 cm or the baby's about to fly out. So, yes, with this pregnancy, one of the things that was on my birth plan is that I don't want epidural. I just wanted to experience it for what it was, right? And I prayed to God. Not only did I not want epidural, I didn't want any pain medications. I didn't want any hormone boosting medications, nothing like oxytocin, pitocin, all those things. I didn't want any medication, etc. like that. So, and I didn't want epidural. So it was noted. Even after I delivered, I didn't want pain relievers like paracetamol, etc. Just from my own personal research, what I had come to accumulate, that was what I wanted for my delivery. So I was going for a positive birth. And I did have a positive birth, guys. I got some scriptures before this delivery that maybe I'll talk about it after. Even my husband did. So moving on to the story. I told him I wanted to give birth. I could feel the ring of fire. I started bearing down. But I was holding it so that I could do it properly. Still, the membrane wasn't torn. So in the background, everybody was shouting, please don't do it, don't keep it. As they were moving me to the main bed, Nepa took light. Oh my days, my husband, everybody, yeah. So he put on his phone torchlight, and everybody was still shouting, madam, don't give birth, madam, don't give birth, put on the generator, madam, don't give birth. Put on the gen. And the nurses were wearing their gowns, the doctor was wearing a gown, they were looking for scissors. Meanwhile, I was almost dying because the baby was almost flying out. As soon as they brought the light, or as soon as the gen was put on, the nurse took, I think, a scissors or something and just cut the membrane. The baby literally flew out, like with force, jumped out, the head. Like I didn't have to push. That's how interesting the delivery was, and I was like, wow. That's different. That is different, very different. And yeah, so that was basically how I pushed again. I had to push for the body to come out though. I had to like bear down, and it was so easy. Sorry, I don't want to underestimate the process, but compared to what I thought, compared to how my first delivery, because I was on epidural, I was really doing pushing, and nothing was happening. Maybe because I couldn't really feel the contractions, so I wasn't pushing at the right time, and I had to have a vacuum assisted delivery. I told you guys about that. But in this one, I didn't even have to push too much. The baby was just sliding, gliding, sliding, minding, everything out. Interesting enough, the doctor still had not come when all this happened. The main doctor had not come. So they took my baby. Now, I wanted to have skin to skin with my baby, but because the main doctor was not there, it was kind of like a confusing birth. They just had to take him away. And then I had to now birth the placenta. Now, in my first delivery, the doctor helped pull out the placenta. Professional is professional. But in this one, I really had to just wait and then have contractions again, which was painful. And then I now pushed and then delivered the placenta. Because of all the drama, the baby's head almost coming out, I had a tear. And the force with which everything came out, I had a 2-degree tear, which one of the doctors there volunteered to sew, but I said I'll wait for the main doctor. Eventually, at around 10:18, the main doctor came. So yes, the time of birth for the child, nobody really knows. Even though my husband assumes it was 10:05 because it wasn't too long from the 9:46 when we called doctor before I gave birth. And then doctor came at 10:18. But what was recorded by the hospital was 10:15 as the time I gave birth. But yeah, it couldn't have 10:15 because I delivered the child, delivered the placenta. We had waited a bit before the doctor finally came at 10:18. So yeah, that's the story of the delivery, right? That is how we delivered Ezekiel, Olotito, Chimeremezi, Ahonaya. That's how we delivered our baby boy, our second beautiful baby boy, our son. Now that I've told the story. So the word that I got before she traveled, that was the word that I got for the delivery. She brought forth a man-child. She brought forth a child. And my husband got in prayers too that the delivery will be super fast. Guys, super fast cannot explain what that delivery was. I know I'm saying it chap like this, but it was a totally different experience, and I thank God for it. That's the end of the story, really. Yeah. So, how many first-time moms do we have in the house? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Congratulations. How many second-time moms do we have in the house? Hi, partner. And third-time moms, fourth-time moms, anytime moms. How was your second delivery or your other delivery? Are they comparable? Are they vastly different or are they similar? Please share your experience. I want to know. How has it been? How has parenting the second time or third time been? How has parenting the first time been? Right? I'm going to do an episode on the craziness of the first few days that I had forgotten. I'd forgotten how painful, absolutely crazy, absolutely painful those first few days after delivery can be. And I'm going to just share some thoughts very soon. But in the meantime, hope this story has given a bit of light and helped somebody. You can do it if you're pregnant. You can have a positive delivery. Your body was created to birth baby. And with God in the picture, all things are going to be beautiful and possible for you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah. Bye.